vengeance. What is vengeance? Vengeance is doing what the other guy does, always the same thing, but it's the ultimate in bad reciprocity that I defined just before. The ultimate in bad reciprocity is to stop it by killing the opponent. If we didn't have culture in the human sense, there would be no humanity. Humanity would have destroyed itself at birth. When the mimetic power rose in the relationship between animals, and we know that it rises, and we know it today scientifically through the mirror neurons. The higher you get, the more mirror neurons you have, and the more mirror neurons you have with men, the more you do the same thing. But this doing the same thing includes enough violence to kill. And we call it vengeance. We don't even know if vengeance is a custom or instinct. We don't have any name, for the thing which is probably most distinctive of human being. The human species is the only one which threatens its own existence from birth. We should be immensely aware of this now, because we do it with weapons that are so efficient that it's coming back to us at an incredible speed right this moment, It's the main event of the 20th and 21st century, that man can destroy himself. That man, in other words, is an apocalyptic creature, like the Bible says, and no other religion does. That should, if there are people on Mars who are watching us, they must be wondering why, even though we have scriptures that talk about the destruction of man by himself, we pay absolutely no attention to it now. We stopped paying attention to it when it became literally possible every day. Because in churches we've stopped preaching eschatology and the end of times at the very moment when we became able to make it happen, This to me is evidence that the Bible is not a religion like the other ones, that it knows about the origin and the end of man, things that are incomparable and that cannot be compared with any other religion. And it's linked to that mimetic power, because obviously fighting is an escalation. We use the word escalation a lot today, but we should use it first for children fighting. It begins with a few words, then there are more blows and so forth, and after that they try to do all the harm they can do to one another. Why? Because they are both doing the same thing, repeating, whatever you do to me, I'm going to do to you. If you treat me well, I will treat you well. But it's never the good aspect of it which dominates. Because it's so easy to imagine that aggression comes from the other. We insist on defining violence as aggression. And we are violent in the very doing of that. If violence, why do we want to define violence as aggression? Because we never feel aggressive ourselves, and we are not. We are mimetic. We imitate the aggression of the guy in front of us. Or at least we make him feel that we understand his aggressive intent. We don't feel aggressive at all, but we show him we understand he's aggressive. And he interprets that as our aggression, and vice versa, and so forth. The interpretation is always the same. Therefore, we always are in a situation where we need something between us to arbitrate. And the fundamental human situation is 3, not 2, As long as it is 2, it is totally destructive.